What's up, everybody? Happy Thursday. Welcome back to another live episode of the Hot Mic. I am John Rocha, joined as always by the Sneider himself, Jeff Sneider. How are you, Jeff?
Hello, Johnny boy!
What's going on?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm dry right now, but I know it's raining in LA. How are you?
I'm very dry. I'm good. Got to keep my head covered, you know. I got
what's going on with the double
surgery? No, I shaved this bitch. Look at this shit.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, you guys like that shit? I'm the new Lex Luthor. Now, James Gunn.
Reshoots will commence. Reshoots will commence. That's awesome. Right, so there you go. If you follow Jeff on his social media, you will see that he had shaved his head and he is ready to have a fun time.
Chest. Huh? Not the chest. It's
not
still
the chest.
Robust.
Still hairy. All the way down? What about the curtains?
No comment. That's
that's too far. That's too far.
That's off the record. You got to take me to dinner first.
Oh, fair point.
Or at least out for a bagel.
I like the shaved head. I think it's about time. You should definitely commit to it. And then find the right glass. Well, come on. Let's just deal with truth here on the show, man. Come on. It was coming, for God's sakes. And then you get a nice set of glasses like Stanley Tucci, and all of a sudden you have a whole nother career, man. I think it's the way to go. There you go. Look at that. Look at that.
I don't know about these. I think it needs more color. I think.
Yeah, you need dark ones. Okay. I would go dark.
My Matt Murdock today.
Yeah, those are good. Those are good. That's a Hollywood Reporter if I ever saw one. I like that look.
Let's do these for now.
Cool look. But yeah, so we got so much to get into here today. There's so much going on in the world of entertainment. Of course, there's Oscar fallout, but there's also some more traction possibly on the Christopher Nolan, James Bond stuff, the Batman stuff, Marvel stuff, DC stuff, Adrian Brody with a new possible job here, Timothee Chalamet. So much to get into. Even some ANORA backlash. And who does Jeff and Jeff's thoughts on what ANORA winning means for the Oscars. So there's so much to get into. But hey, some of you know this already because there's already 9 super chats in our list here. But the Streamlabs and super chats are open. You see the Streamlabs address right above Jeff's head. It's also pinned in the chat in the description of this video. So send in your love and support for us here throughout the show. All right, Jeff, shall we just break the seal and get into it? What are your thoughts here?
I have news.
Oh, you do? Top of the show. All right.
Yeah.
Let's have it.
I mean, it's a little thing because I'm not sure who the replacement is, but I can report that Margaret Qualley has fallen out of A24's Victorian Psycho.
How can that be after the incredible dance performance she delivered in that James Bond sequence? How can it be?
I don't know. I heard that this movie, that she dropped out either 2 days before it was going to film or 2 days into filming. I'm not sure which is which. Probably beforehand, because we probably would have heard about it if it had actually started filming and then they stopped.
Right.
But yeah, I think
creative issues?
I don't know if it was creative issue. I really have no idea. I haven't been able to get a comment from her side of things.
Okay.
I know that they had their eye on a certain someone who I can reveal. But it's not going to work out. I just want to warn everybody.
Okay.
I don't think that this is actually happening. But since we're going to talk about her anyways on the show, why not I just say they were looking at Charli XCX to replace Margaret Qualley in Victorian Psycho. But again, I think that is unlikely to happen. I don't think that is going to happen. And sure enough, this morning we woke up and there was a rumor about her joining Narnia.
Yeah.
Get into that story now?
I guess we'll just lead with that one.
Let's do Narnia.
Charli XCX here, possibly in talks for joining Narnia. This was an exclusive that was dropped there. She was announced for Glastonbury recently. She's going to be at that festival, but now apparently she is being eyed to join Greta Gerwig's Netflix-anticipated Narnia film. She is a multiple Grammy Award winner. Of course, we just got out of Brat Summer just recently here, Jeff. And she could potentially be playing the White Witch, which is who Tilda Swinton played in those original movies. So interesting. How is she? I mean, have you seen her in anything as an actress?
I saw her on SNL, and she was better than I expected.
She was very funny in SNL.
Yeah, it was a good SNL episode.
Yes.
SNL kind of comes down to the writing for me. But she obviously has a lot of like interesting projects lined up. I know she's in Greg Araki's movie, I Want Your Sex, with Olivia Wilde and Cooper Hoffman.
Okay.
A couple of other things. I just don't get it. I'm not sure I see this. This seems like a big leap for me. The White Witch in Narnia. So, but like at the same time, dude, we can get into some fucking shit today. Let's do it.
Why not? Let's do it.
I said this at the top of the year. I think this is the year, that pop stars like take over movie roles, or like like people, whether it's Taylor Swift who wants to direct her first movie, Amazon coming to Billie Eilish for Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Oh yeah.
I think that after Ariana Grande, after the success that she had with Wicked, that's like the hot thing. So I'll say right now, like if Disney had its way and Disney could cast anybody it wanted in Tangled, that person would be Sabrina Carpenter.
Whoa.
I know that they've talked to Sabrina Carpenter. They've had like a general meeting with her. I think Tangled came up. I don't know if she was ever formally offered Tangled, but I think it was made clear to her that if she wanted Tangled, it would be hers.
Well, Sabrina has done, obviously Sabrina's is a child actress, so she's
of course
experience. But the leap is big, when you go.
Of course, yes, it would be. But like whether it's that or Charli XCX doing Narnia, I think what I'm getting at with this story is like Olivia Rodrigo could, whether it's this year, next year, whatever. If they were doing Snow White and they hadn't just done it with Rachel Zegler, Olivia Rodrigo would be in contention to be like the next Snow White. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Totally.
I think that you're going to see more and more stuff like that with like big pop stars taking these kinds of roles.
I mean, Taylor Swift is sitting right there. She has had some experience acting. She's in her early 30s. Don't you think that's one that people should be shaking the tree about, especially as this era's tour is, I think, winding to a close? So you would think that's someone they want to look at down the road to be a lead in some of their stuff. What would you think?
You have to be a good actress.
Right. You're saying Taylor's not quite there.
I'm not saying she's a bad actress. What are you trying to get me fucking killed? Are you trying to get me fucking killed right now?
You said you wanted to get into some shit today.
I'm not saying she's a bad actress. I'm just saying I don't think that anyone's like casting her like in the lead of huge projects like this. Obviously, you're right that Sabrina Carpenter is a Disney Channel.
Yeah, she's got
girl, so she has a history there and all that.
Yeah, but I don't think people like, she can't act. It's irrelevant, man. It's Taylor. You just pipe that in. That's going to be millions of dollars on opening weekend, whether she's good or not. And I would have to say, I want to put this out there. Her early stuff, in that ensemble film, she's in her 20s, early 20s, man. The world is kind of her oyster at that. Now she's a much more older woman. She's been through stuff. She's been through a divorce. She's been through some things. She's been in the pop culture. She's now gotten affirmed that she's a massive star forever. She's a billionaire. Taylor Swift. So to me, I think this is a time for producers to maybe go back to Taylor Swift and see what she's got. As now that she's lived a little bit of life, you might be surprised by what you get.
Again, whether it's Kim Kardashian doing like a big Hulu show and Netflix show, or Travis Kelce doing a Lionsgate action comedy, I'm just saying you're going to start to see those celebrities with huge followings that have like, people willing to cross over and like, you could be a Taylor Swift fan and I don't give a shit about football, but all of a sudden I'm watching football games because that's how big a fan I am of them and their romance. That's why you're going to start to see those people take these movie roles. So, but Charli XCX, yes, we're talking that maybe she was approached for Victorian Psycho and it probably isn't going to work out. Now she's being talked about for Narnia. I'm telling you, Sabrina Carpenter, if she wanted to do Tangled, it would be hers, like that.
That would be okay.
That kind of thing.
Yeah, why not? I mean, it makes sense because we're seeing a progression of talent that's coming into positions of power or positions of fame, but they're multi-tool. It's like sports, like we talk about 5-tool talents. These are 5-tool talents that can do this on different fronts. You can act, you can sing, you can dance. You can do all these different things. Produce. We're seeing a lot of female talent becoming executive producers and starting production companies. Yeah. So there's a lot of opportunities here now that maybe we're not there because there was a lot of bias towards pop stars or singers or what have you, right?
The chat is lighting up, and it threw me off. That's why I asked, who are we talking about when you said Taylor Swift has been divorced? She has not been divorced.
Oh, Joel Alwyn, the guy she was. Oh, I guess she got divorced. I thought they were married. My bad. But she was with him for a long time. Yeah.
Right. I didn't see the hate you give.
So
Carpenter, apparently.
Sorry, guys. I didn't know. I thought they were married. I guess they were but they're together for a long time. So you go through things, so to speak. And so
have YouTube remove this show?
Yeah. What? Did someone say that? I don't know. Anyway, all right. Sorry, guys. But anyway,
what's next on the agenda?
Well, I just want to ask you this. Mikey Madison has been rumored for. Does that seem more believable for Narnia than Charli XCX?
First of all, when did it say that she was rumored for Narnia?
I saw that over on social media. So that's what I'm asking you if you think.
And this is the problem with social media. We never heard that she was rumored for Narnia. That's not a thing. She was rumored for a Greta Gerwig movie. Now, Greta Gerwig is going to be busy making 2 Narnia movies back to back or whatever.
Right.
But she could also be laying the groundwork for something that she does after Narnia.
That's true. Okay.
Yeah, this Narnia rumor kind of came out of nowhere. I have not heard that. Mm-hmm. And in fact, read my newsletter tonight.
Oh, there you go. There's a little tease here at the Sneider.com. That's for sure. So you don't see her being the White Queen, is what you're saying. You don't see it, but maybe.
Charli XCX?
Yeah.
I don't see it in the sense that it seems like a big role, and I'm sure she could do it, but it's not who would come to mind.
Right, to play that role. Understood.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get out of here before we get ourselves in trouble. So let's move on. I'm probably already in trouble for claiming that Taylor Swift was married. I'm sorry, Swifties. Don't come.
But it all just bled seamlessly. If we're leading with Margaret Qualley, Victorian Psycho, who is the potential replacement, then into Narnia. Oh my God, guys, just look at the segue, the flow.
Well, let's flow into this. How about this, Jeff? This is starting to pick up steam here. The Christopher Nolan situation. The Wrap even wrote about it. The Wrap said they're coming from a franchise producer who believes the only possible path for credibility is hiring a top director like Nolan. If Amazon wants to preserve the legacy, they should do everything possible to get Nolan. We talked about this last week. Another source described him as a, quote, top franchise producer. There is strong mutual desire to make it happen. And if you remember the quotes from him back in July of 2023 on Josh Horowitz's Happy, Sad, Confused podcast, Nolan said the influence of those movies in my filmography is embarrassing apparent. And so there's no attempt to shy away from that. I love the films. It would be an amazing privilege to do one. And we do know a few years ago, he'd been talking about doing one with Barbara Broccoli, but she wouldn't give him final cut. Now it seems like they're going to give him everything he wants. And we talked about this last week. So this is a bit of an update. What are your thoughts on this?
Where do you extrapolate they're going to give him everything he wants? Where do you get that from?
I'm saying, what do you think about people saying that they think?
First of all, when I polled the industry after the day of the Amazon deal, that was obviously what everybody said. Oh, you've got to give it to Nolan. You've got to give it to Nolan.
Right.
Now, the thing about you've got to give it to Nolan.
Yes.
There's a couple things about it.
Okay.
When can you give it to him?
8 months from now is what you said last week. Is it longer than that?
It's probably not until the movie at least comes out.
Right.
It's not until next July. So
right.
It's 16 months.
So 16 months from now is when you would see it. Okay.
Unless you have somebody, like his brother write it or whatever.
Right.
Really, Christopher Nolan cannot turn his attention to this movie until next summer when his own movie, The Odyssey, hits theaters.
Right.
So the question for Amazon is, do you wait? Now, most people would say, yes, you wait.
Yeah.
Do you think Amazon wants to wait?
I don't know. I said this to you last week, that it didn't make sense to do this move and not have someone already lined up, not have someone you're already talking to, not have someone that you're already looking at. And you were like, if you can get Nolan, you wait. That's what you said last week. So what's the truth here?
Well, I would have to say read the newsletter tonight to find out.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I can't give it away.
This is the show.
I have heard. Right. I received a text this morning.
Okay.
The text had certain information in it.
Okay. From
there, it was easy to make the leap to other things.
Okay.
And I think it's going to be a good newsletter tonight on the James Bond front.
All right. Well, Christopher Nolan is...
Can't do it. Can't say anything. But I mean, I can talk around it.
Again, I wish you'd use a newsletter to tell people to come to this show. Come on. According to the Wrap, Christopher Nolan is Amazon's number one.
I do. Do you read the newsletter? I do all the time.
I know you do. I'm just busting your balls. According to the Wrap, though, Nolan is Amazon's number one pick. Do you buy that according to the Wrap? Do you believe that he is their number one pick? Without revealing what's coming up in your newsletter.
I think even if he was the number one pick, I don't think he is anymore.
Okay. Esquire broke down all these directors. Okay.
Well, go ahead.
Okay. I was just going to list a few of them while I open my candy for a second.
Go ahead, because my newsletter is talking about one specifically tonight.
Okay. Danny Boyle is a name that they mentioned here.
I'm just going to give me all the names. I'm going to try to keep a straight face.
Okay, fine. Danny Boyle, Edward Berger, which we've heard before, Steve McQueen, which is an interesting out of left field choice, Matthew Vaughn, no fucking way. Those are the names that they've mentioned so far on the Esquire article that dropped earlier today. But of course, Nolan number one.
Obviously, you all know that Esquire has absolutely no insider insight whatsoever into any of this.
Right.
Obviously, you also know that I mentioned Edward Berger, who only now is admitting that his interest in it, by the way, which I had said he would jump in a heartbeat from Bourne to Bond. That's what they always said. Well, he's doing Bourne. He's doing well. I'm like, give me a fucking break.
Yeah.
Okay? If they had actually moved and offered him Bond, he would jump in a heartbeat. But no, that is none of the directors. That is not the director I plan to write about tonight. I'm really not writing about a director. I'm writing about a director who has a close association to somebody else. So I'll be writing about. But I think that the fact that I received the tip that I did about the person I did suggests they either don't want to wait for Nolan or they already asked him and he wasn't interested.
Okay.
I think that obviously what Broccoli said about the Amazon people.
Yes.
I don't think that they're alone in thinking that.
Yeah.
Right. I think, so Christopher Nolan, I mean, it may have been amazing. Like he may have wanted to do it for Barbara and Wilson, but does he really want to work with this regime on these movies?
Mm-hmm.
The other part of it is, again, if they just you bought MGM really for one reason, the library, a big percentage of which is Bond. So let's say, I forget how much it was, 7 or 8 billion.
Mm-hmm. 8 billion, I think it was. Yeah.
Let's credit Bond for a quarter of that.
Okay.
Let's say that you spent $2 billion on the Bond franchise already. Now you spend close to another $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, on buying out Broccoli and Wilson.
Right.
You spent almost $3 billion for Control. Are you really spending that money just so someone else besides you, namely Christopher Nolan, can call all the shots because he's a Final Cut director?
Right. That's a fair point. Do you want to have... Well, again, I go back to what I said last week. I don't think they would have made this move unless they had people they were already talking to. So you're probably right that they went to Nolan or talked to him. Nolan's like, I'm not budging on Final Cut. And maybe these executives, as you said, they don't want to be in a situation where they get no credit and it's all Christopher Nolan and he gets all, like Feige does for Marvel. Like they didn't want to have that situation. And I can completely understand that, but then we're back in with Broccoli and Wilson again, just a different set of people doing the same thing.
I'm trying to think.
What do you think about Osgood Perkins' comment where he said, "Fuck Jeff Bezos, he's not going to do a Bond film."
I wouldn't be surprised if Oz. I mean, I think that was a stupid thing to say, but at the same time, I don't think he's probably alone in thinking that. I'm sure a lot of people are like, "Yeah, I don't want to work for Amazon," or But it begs the question: are they just going to get some Chad Stahelski, David Leitch to do it, or are they going to get another director who maybe also demands final cut? That's the other thing. My story tonight would indicate that Bezos, who has already spent so much money, is not going to be afraid to break the bank to get what he wants.
Okay.
Now, but like that, he may want Nolan, but that's not a matter of money.
Right.
That's something else.
It's a matter of control.
So, if it's like, if you can get someone else who is an amazing director, but maybe more willing to play the game a little bit.
Yeah.
That depends. We'll see. But I'll be very curious to see what people think. I don't think what I am going to write tonight is going to be a huge shock to anybody.
Okay.
Only because, unless everyone's just so single-mindedly thinking about Christopher Nolan. Like, obviously, there are other people who are like, that's a lot. Like, imagine if it was Christopher Nolan, everyone, like, their minds would be blown, right? That's a long shot, right? That's not like the likely like what's going to happen here,
right?
So,
okay,
yeah,
okay. I get it. But the Bezos situation is going to be interesting to see how it plays out. I wonder how many people in Hollywood are now going to be averse to working with Amazon because of that situation, because of him and all of that. I don't know. So it's interesting that Oz is one of the first people to come out and say it. But as you said, there are probably a lot of people in Hollywood that feel that way and don't want to work with him. But
I mean, he's also coming maybe from a place of privilege that others aren't.
Yeah. He's on a roll.
I'm sure there are obviously a lot of directors who have no problem taking Jeff Bezos' money or working for him.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, let's move on to this story here. Here we go. Adrian Brody. What are your thoughts on this, buddy? Adrian Brody is in talks for Damien Chazelle's Evel Knievel on tour project. This is according to Deadline. Chazelle's film's already supposed to have Leonardo DiCaprio's Evel Knievel. I guess that's how you go from Sinatra to Evel Knievel, but okay. Brody is being added to the mix, reportedly. Sources are saying that DiCaprio reaching a deal to star in the film seems to be inevitability and could, in fact, occur in the coming days. Chazelle will play the part of sports promoter Shelley Saltman. Knievel ruined his career when he attacked Saltman. By the way, I was alive when this happened. I remember as a kid this story. He attacked him with an aluminum baseball bat due to an unflattering book he wrote about him. Saltman was knocked unconscious and needed major surgery to repair his arm, and Knievel went and served 6 months in jail. Jeff, does it sound like a good next move for Adrian Brody? Does it sound like a believable next move for Adrian Brody at this point? What are your thoughts?
All right, here's a little thing I'll give away from the newsletter. Isn't it hilarious that when Leonardo DiCaprio is like, who can I beat with a baseball bat for my Evel Knievel movie? How about the guy who just won his second Oscar when I only have one? How about that?
Line him up, Damien. Line him up.
He's probably sitting there all season being like, fucking Adrian Brody's going to have one more Oscar than I am.
Yeah. By
the end of this. I want his head on a fucking platter. Bring him to me for my Evel Knievel movie. I'm going to run him over and beat him with a bat. I think it's a good call. I think Adrian Brody anybody working alongside DiCaprio, I think is great, especially to have, one big climactic scene with him.
Yeah.
And working with a director of Chazelle's stature, it's a smart follow-up for sure. It's better than, Adrian Brody joining some Marvel movie.
Right. Look at that guy. Look at the guy. This is an interesting cat, right? I mean, I was thinking about him this week, and it occurred to me in my mind. I know people think I have the craziest takes, whatever. I think there's a chance that man ends his life with 4 Oscars on his mantle. I think it's very possible that Adrian Brody wins 4 Oscars before his life is over. Like he's one of the top awarded guys ever as an actor. I mean, he's batting 1,000 right now. 2 nominations, 2 wins. Yes, he delivered that long ass speech, but whatever. People love his work when he gets to work. And now it seems like he's in a position now to go into films with this pedigree. So do you think things have changed for him now? Or is this more of a Hilary Swank situation where it just happened to be timing and the roles, and then boom, he's just going to go back to being ensemble characters in Wes Anderson movies?
I mean, I think Adrian Brody, I mean, he's the same Adrian Brody he always kind of was. I still think he's going to end up doing that kind of VOD stuff and occupying that space where Russell Crowe and Nicolas Cage and other past Oscar winners still thrive.
Right.
I'm sure he'll be more top of mind now for directors, but he has such a specific look. Like it's tough to just like slot him in anywhere.
Right.
Do you think it's all about the choices that he makes and whether he wants to like chase an easy buck on, VOD and in that like indie space that'll pay you like millions to show up for a week. I
mean, he's 51. I think he's going to age. This guy has a face that'll age into his 80s and keep working. I think there's a real shot, he's got a real shot, I think, to stick around and win 4 Oscars possibly down the road. I like that about him. It's an interesting choice to be part of because you're not the lead in this. Do you take this move because you understand, hey, this Brutalist thing was an anomaly because I'm not a lead anymore unless it's the smaller stuff, as you said. So is this a smart way to keep himself in the public eye, so to speak?
I guess this is another thing that's tying into the newsletter tonight. This is a good newsletter. I don't think that just because you win an Oscar means you have to rush off to be the star of some big movie next.
That's a fair point.
Okay. I think as long as you do good work, particularly if you're a young Oscar winner, I think as long as you just work with good storytellers and good filmmakers, it's not necessarily about the size of the role.
Right.
So just because certain people won Oscars on Sunday night, I think you could easily see them turn up in supporting roles, like Adrian Brody here has been reported. Yeah.
Do you think this is going to happen? Does it pass your smell test? Because DiCaprio hasn't signed for this yet. So do you sense this is going to be an inevitability with Chazelle and DiCaprio in this movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, it would just be tough at this point for Leo to pivot too. I mean, obviously he can get a movie made at the drop of a hat, but if he has a slot this summer to shoot, then I think he's going to want to take advantage of it. And he clearly wanted to work with Damien.
Yeah. William Monahan wrote the original draft, but the latest version is from Terrence Winter. So if you're an actor, you're like, this is great. This is a good amount of pedigree all around. I want to be a part of this thing. So yeah, makes sense. Jeff, you wrote about this. I don't have a video or picture for this one, but you wrote about this. Let me get your thoughts on this. This is in the Sneider, his newsletter that he keeps plugging. You reported that Celine's song recently took a meeting or two with Marvel's Kevin Feige, and Celine's song, of course, the director of Past Lives. What does this make sense after the Chloe Zhao situation? After some of these other independent filmmakers have gone through the Marvel grind, does this make sense?
I mean, it makes sense in the sense that like Marvel would continue to make the same mistake over and over again. yes, it does. She totally fits the bill. Like every other director that I named last night, there was 8 or 9 of them.
Yeah, Chloe Zhao, John Watt.
And I didn't even name people like Coogler, who came out of Fruitvale Station. I know he directed Creed or whatever, but anyways, listen, that's the space that they operate in. They want someone who knows what they're doing, but at the same time may not be, super VFX proficient and can let them sort of run that side of the show. Obviously, I think that they need more female filmmakers in there in general, right? Yeah,
true. Very true.
It can't just be the same names or the same ones that they've been using.
I don't know. DEI is dead, so why do we need women? Right? I don't know. Go ahead.
I do not, for all the shit that I talk about these guys, I don't think either Kevin or James Gunn think like that.
No, I know. Go ahead.
I think she just worked with 3 Marvel stars.
Yes, correct.
On Materialist, Dakota Johnson, Chris Evans, and Pedro Pascal.
Right.
So, they may have said, hey, Kevin, you should take a meeting with this woman. She just did a great job with our rom-com. And, I don't think it's going to be an awards contender like Past Lives was, but it's supposed to be, fairly commercial.
Yeah.
So yeah, it didn't shock me. I wouldn't know if it was for film or television or what they have her in mind for, but it made sense when I heard that they maybe have met with her.
Yeah. I kind of like the idea, but I agree it would depend on the movie. I just wonder what she would be meeting for. Like, what would she be good for? Or that's coming up on the slate. I don't know.
They stuck Chloe Zhao on Eternals. I have absolutely no idea. Like, it could be anything.
Maybe Young Avengers. I don't know.
Because
it doesn't have to be a feature film, right? It could be a series. She directed the episodes of Wheel of Time, so she could be a series director, right? That's possible.
Sure. I mean, again, to me, it sounded like it was just a general meeting. I didn't hear like, hey, she came in for this or that.
Right.
It was just a getting to know you thing, and I don't know if they brought her back to then more sort of discuss more specific stuff. I don't know.
Right. Okay.
And Senor Nerd, I think that's a fair thing to say, but I don't know that Shang-Chi 2 is in the cards, right? Like if Destin Daniel Cretton is in fact busy with Spidey 4, would they try to bring in another director to move Shang-Chi 2 along? But that just seems like too reductive, frankly. And so it may make sense, but I don't think that is it.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right. Where are we moving on?
Wait, we have a ton of Marvel stuff. Hold on.
Okay, go ahead. Keep going. Bring it on.
Jeremy Miller says, what if it's Blade? What did you think? Did you see the Blade rumor this week?
Are you talking about this guy, Chad Stahelski? It's on the rundown. All right. What do you got? What are you trying to say?
No, I have not heard that, but I also, when I asked someone about it, they were like, that makes sense. That seems like someone who could actually get that movie made and get it across the finish line.
Yeah.
And B, doesn't look like his other movie, Highlander, is getting across the finish line anytime soon.
I mean, do you do a Highlander remake with Henry Cavill, or do you go and do Blade and take a chance with the Marvel thing of Blade and work with Mahershala Ali? I think that's a no-brainer. I think you go and do Blade in a heartbeat.
I think Lionsgate smartly, whether they will admit it or not, like I think that they're the ones sort of dragging their feet on paying all this money for Highlander. I think that's just the way I interpret that situation. But Chad Stahelski would probably put me in my place and correct me on that.
I think he 100% could do it, and I agree with you. That's the thing. As soon as I read that blurb, I was like, well, that's a guy that can get the movie done. He can get the movie done.
It's not who my source had heard, but that was also like a while ago. So it's possible. It's possible.
I like it because I think we're past this. We need to get a black director for Blade now. I think people just want to see the fucking movie.
Exactly.
And Stephen Norrington and Guillermo del Toro are not black, and they delivered two of the best Blade movies. So, I mean, I think they're just like, let's get the job done. Give a shit about a black director at this point, because clearly it's fallen up, or a director of color.
And that is what we're getting at with the DEI stuff.
Yeah.
Why do we feel this need? Why can't we just have talented people directing movies and trying to make good movies again?
Yeah.
I think that Julius Ona, whether he would admit it or not, was unfairly thrown into a tough situation.
100%.
Captain America that he was probably not ready for.
Yeah.
It just so happens that he's black, but that's the example I chose to use.
Right.
Some other Marvel stuff. Some other names popped into the old inbox just as far as like people to watch.
Okay.
Obviously I know that there was all these like Avengers leaks, right? With like concept art.
Yeah. Doomsday.
You guys understand what is the first word of that? It's called concept. Right. It's not fucking fine. I don't understand. This is just like an idea. Yeah. So I don't know that Damson Idris is actually Black Panther or not. I had heard whether this was, for a role in X-Men or Black Panther. I don't, I just know Marvel definitely is high on David Johnson. I think did I mention that last week?
You did mention last week, yes.
Yeah, David Johnson is definitely a name that I continue to hear in the halls and Zoom chats of Marvel. And also, I heard a rumor for Beast this week.
Oh, really? So
the Doctor is in.
So let's line it up here, because you had Sadie Sink, possibly.
Yeah.
right? And then
Sadie Sink, Margaret Qualley. I mean, Margaret Qualley, Julia Butters.
Who was the guy, the tall, skinny white dude? Who was that guy for Scott?
Dickinson.
Dickinson, right? Harris Dickinson. So now, who is your?
And these could all just be prototypes.
Well, of course. The concept actors. Who is your choice for Beast?
Who conveys like a certain intelligence and yet is also a bit menacing. I heard the name Jesse Plemons.
Oh, wow.
Could you see Jesse Plemons as Beast?
100%.
I kind of could too.
And if you're going that route where you've got the older X-Men to mentor the younger X-Men, Jesse absolutely radiates that Beast, older X-Men energy, older brother energy that would 100% work. That's a great point because he can radiate intelligence and radiate ferocity when the role calls for it. So yeah,
I mean,
well, that's a good
I know blockbusters have circled him over the years, or he's circled blockbusters. Like he that was the first name I heard for Star Wars, the Force Awakens, that I think ultimately ended up going to Boyega. But I definitely heard that Jesse was in the mix for that, and Star Wars has always liked him. But I do think. I do wonder if it's going to be time for him to join one of those big franchises, DC, Marvel, Star Wars. And if it is Marvel, if Beast is in fact the role, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. I could see it. I mean, somebody already did a mock-up. Hold on. I mean, I could maybe see it. Look at this. Sorry about that. That's a believable one. I can see that. That's totally possible. Come on. I like that idea. All right. Any other Marvel stuff? You said you had a few things here.
No, I think that was it.
Okay.
I did hear one thing. I heard that the Hulk stuff that we discussed about Spider-Man 4, John.
Yes.
Heard that's not it.
I did tell you that it was possibly early on in the process of the writing.
Maybe it was another earlier iteration, but I don't know that that's actually going to be the plot of Spider-Man.
You tell your person to, mind their business. I know what I'm talking about. You tell your person to mind their effing business. Same guy, he's not fat. Have you seen Jesse now? He's super slim now. He is not fat. He is skinny now. And even if he was fat, Beast is a big dude. You can get in shape when you're already a big dude quickly if you want to look like Beast, for God's sakes. The stuff about Spider-Man and the Hulk, that stuff I'd heard that there was rumored to be early in the process with Punisher or whatever. So, we'll see what happens in the end. So, all right. So that's all the Marvel stuff you said. Let's move over to DC. Let's talk about this story that dropped this week. Did people make too much of this quote here, Jeff?
Wait, don't even tell me what the quote is. The answer is yes.
Robert Pattinson was being interviewed for Hero magazine by Naomi Ackie to promote Mickey 17. And he was asked about the Batman. And he said that the Batman would hopefully be, he said recently that he was hopefully that the Batman would be shot by the end of the year. But when he was asked about if he's going to shoot a Batman movie soon, he said, quote, "I fucking hope so. I started out as young Batman. I'm going to be fucking old Batman by the sequel." So I clipped out our stuff from last week and added that quote stuff to it. So your thoughts, though, about this, Jeff? Do you think people are making too much of this, or was this a moment of letting my guard down frustration with a fellow actor about the situation?
I think this is just trying to use humor instead of answering the question the way he wants to answer the question, which I assure you.
Yeah.
I assure everyone who asks this question.
Yes.
The actual words that go through Robert Pattinson's brain.
Yes.
Are fuck and you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. I think that Robert Pattinson wishes he could say that every single time that he's asked that question. Instead, he has to come up with some pithy little fucking response. Right. I fucking hope I'm fucking made soon, mate, because I'm fucking old. That's my Australian Robert Pattinson.
I was going to say, what are you talking?
That's my Australian Robert Pattinson. This is a new character I'm workshopping, by the way. I'm going to audition for SNL with Australian Robert Pattinson.
So you're making him Australian, is what you're saying?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. I was going to say, I don't think he's
not. But I do a great Australian Robert Pattinson. So, anyways, I'm going to be fucking old, mate. Like, what do you like? That's a fun little
Joker.
answer to that. What do you want him to say? What do you want these guys to say when they're asked the question 4,000 times? And you know what's crazy to me? Every single morning I wake up and it's like Robert Pattinson said this. Robert Pattinson, like, do people have like a direct line? Like, does he have like a little cup that people like come up to at the window and they yell answers? And why are we hearing from Robert Pattinson every single day?
But I'll tell you, okay, that's fine. But I'll tell you this: stop doing the franchise movies if you don't want to fucking get bothered. That's the way it works.
Oh, you only get to ask these questions when he does franchise movies?
Yeah, no one's like, when are you doing this really interesting think piece about a relationship that's falling apart? No. Nobody gives a fuck about those movies.
This is about Robert Pattinson and the studio, his PR and the studio's PR, putting him in front of morons and numbskulls who only care to ask about this shit.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yes. You want him to not answer that question?
Yeah.
Put him in front of people who won't ask it. Who won't waste their time asking that question. Like, it's annoying, it's stupid. I don't know what we expect of these celebrities when they're put on the spot like this, or what do you expect them to say? Here's what I will say, and I heard this today.
Okay.
I'm told Robert Pattinson has read the script. I'm told there is a script.
There is a full script. That is
what I am told. I am told that Robert Pattinson has read a full script for the Batman 2, and that does not mean that you know who has read the script.
Oh.
That doesn't mean that.
Wow.
Because he is under no obligation, Mr. Reeves, to show that script to those two executives.
Who is it? Reeves is under no obligation.
Reeves is under no obligation right now
to
show that script to these two executives.
Why? Because it's not technically a finished script?
It's not their script to give notes on. I told you.
Oh, right.
Mike and
Luke and Abdi.
Yes.
Luke and Abdi. Oh.
Yes. It doesn't get to them yet. They don't need to see it. They're on a need-to-know basis, and they don't need to know right now.
Wow.
But I'm told Robert has read it.
Wow. Okay. All right. Then it's an even more curious answer that he says, I'm going to be fucking old Batman by the time it's done, you know?
But hey, Jeff Snyder's a liar, and there's definitely nothing going on behind the scenes, and everything's hunky-dory over there.
Why are you hating on James Gunn? Why do you have a personal vendetta?
By the way, it's like, and I say this, I say it about other movies in the newsletter. Did anybody catch last night what movie I said I heard was not good? Nobody picks it up, because unless it's Marvel or DC, no one gives a shit, especially if it's positive. If I say, I hear good things about this, there's none of that. No, that's not a story. It's only when it's negative. And I heard something one of this summer's blockbusters turned out to be not very good.
Oh.
I think it's pretty easy to guess.
Okay. Does that mean Superman?
No, it's another franchise whose last couple of entries have not been very good.
Okay.
And the acting in the trailer looks like it's done by a robot.
Oh, that's not good. That's not good.
So read, how come that shit doesn't go viral? Because it's not DC or Marvel.
Right.
But I also have heard good stuff. If you read the newsletter closely, there's also a movie I heard really good things about coming out. So
I think the last two I got was the ANORA one and the David Arquette one. Do you have it in the ANORA? I don't have the other ones. So
I think it's in the David Arquette Scream 7 one.
Okay, I'm going to take a look at that one.
I forget which movie I said I heard good things.
Was it just a quick blurb?
Yeah, dude. This dude.
Okay.
Yeah, I forget. People got
you write so many things that
I'm on to the next. I publish and that's it. I don't go back and read the work.
That's true. That's a fair point.
Next, what do we got?
All right, let's move on to our next thing. So nothing to make of this other than you saying he's read the script.
What is there to make? The movie's going to start when the fucking movie starts. He has no idea when. It's out of his control.
Fair point. Okay.
I mean, so many things have to fall into place and happen, and
to work. I understand. All right, we should take a moment here. We're 45 minutes into the show. 830 people are joining us live. Thank you so much. This is becoming the destination place for people to come and watch the show. We are building up. So many people are joining. Subscribe below. Please. Subscribe below. Hit that bell button, but also subscribe to Jeff's newsletter. He's teasing things he's going to be writing out in the newsletter tonight, so you don't want to miss those columns that he writes. They're very informative. I've seen Jeff write. I'm nothing but envious of his ability to just sit down and compose 40 fucking paragraphs just off the top of his head. Because I battle over 12. Even
if the information turns out to be wrong, it's a good story.
Yeah, it is a good story. It's a very Jeff's a very
We're selling papers here, folks. We're selling papers.
And I want to make it clear, I'm not saying that because he's my friend. If he sucked, I would tell him. But he's actually a damn good writer. So I'm telling you, I've always enjoyed Jeff's stuff.
Start.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, because there are some people currently working in some really big organizations and big places. I read their shit. It is boring as hell. All right, let's move on to what else have I got here lined up? I'm looking at the rundown. Oh, yeah. Timothee Chalamet. Do you buy this one, Jeff? According to Daniel RPK, and of course, you always take that with a grain of salt with RPK, sometimes good, sometimes bad, but he got this one from the production grid that Chalamet has apparently been offered the lead role in Disney's Ichabod, which is another take on Sleepy Hollow there, and this being directed by Alfonso Gomez-Rejon, who did Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl, which is a surprisingly very good film. Does this sound right to you? Because the sequel for Wonka starts in early of next year. Would he be able to do the Sleepy Hollow? Does this make sense to you that he would do it?
So let me get this straight. Yeah, this is the kind of stuff where it's like Daniel may very well be right. Like, because if you're Disney, of course, like, why wouldn't you go to Timothée Chalamet? Just like if you're Amazon, why wouldn't you go to Christopher Nolan for Bond? Right. Do you think that Timothée Chalamet is not like career sensitive enough or like smart enough to recognize that you can't just play Johnny Depp's parts for your whole career? He's going to do Wonka 2 again.
Mm-hmm.
You think now he's going to go do Sleepy Hollow? What's next? Edward Scissorhands? I don't think that Timmy would do that. I just think that Timmy and his team are both far savvier, maybe than they get credit for. But this isn't even like a good property. Like Ichabod, like who gives like fucking kids give a shit about that? No,
I don't think you're wrong. I agree. I don't think people care about Sleepy Hollow at all.
No.
Yeah.
Wasn't that like it was a TV show too, right?
It was a TV show for 3 or 4 seasons.
It's just like so washed. Like, no, we don't need another thing of that.
All right. Just wanted to ask what you thought about it, if it's possible. Because it's Chalamet. All right, let's get into a little bit of a meatier conversation, buddy. And this is connected to the Oscars. You wrote a really interesting piece, which you're completely wrong about ANORA winning Best Picture and what it means for the industry. You put the independent film cock firmly in your mouth. And but there's a lot of backlash here, Jeff, which I didn't know about. And this week on social media, people put up this commentary about the film, claiming that it was made with non-union stuff and that Sean Baker fought people being union on the film shoot, and that this was one of the reasons that the intimacy coordinator wasn't on there and whatever. So there was a little bit of a backlash towards the movie. Some sex workers have come out and commented about how they weren't paid when they worked on the movie, that they tried to work more than multiple days and that Sean wouldn't pay them if they worked multiple days, or the film wouldn't pay them. And then another person chimed in saying that the entire story she wrote and shot a short that Sean Baker saw years ago that's very similar to the ANORA film. So is all this just smokescreen bullshit, or do you think there is some legitimacy to these complaints and these attempts to out what happened here?
Who was it that it was one executive, maybe the head of HBO, Casey Bloys, who said it's the tallest trees, the trees that stand tallest, that catch the most wind.
It's true.
Yeah. Now that Sean Baker's movie has won Best Picture, you got people who I helped on it for a day or two, but I never got paid. Where's my money? This movie's got winning Best Picture. Everybody's must be getting paid. How come I didn't get paid?
Yeah.
Of course, we won Best Picture. Only, I did a short film that I showed Sean. It's a lot like it. Obviously, you ripped it off.
Right.
I mean, these people come out of the fucking woodwork. Most of them are fucking crazy 99% of the time.
Yeah.
And obviously he has traveled in some particularly crazy circles.
Yes, he has.
I don't give a shit about who this fucking guy follows on Instagram.
Oh yeah.
I don't really care about the union shit either. Like, is it a little shady? Sure.
Sure.
But at the same time, as an independent filmmaker, John, what do you think you have to do to get your movie made?
Yeah, sometimes you got to cross those lines. You got to blur the line.
You do anything you have to fucking do. That is what people don't understand. But the rules. I didn't get a permit to shoot there. Guys, do whatever the fuck you have to do to make your movie. And that's what he did. He's like, I've got $6 million, and if that doesn't buy me, if I can't get a union crew, I'm going to get a fucking non-union crew and make the movie I want to fucking make.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
The union shit, as good as it is sometimes, like I follow a lot of those union accounts on Instagram.
Yeah.
It's people who just complain about having to pay union dues and they don't get jobs. They're just like, it's been a year and a half. My union can't get me a job, and yet I'm giving my money every month to this to paying dues, and it's crazy. Yeah. So to me, it's a double-edged sword. Some of the union stuff. Obviously, I recognize why we need them and
how of course
protect workers, but I also think if they screw people out of like work, where like if Sean Baker's hiring non-union and you're a union guy and you want to work on that fucking movie, you can't.
Yeah. Yeah, I went through that in the tail end of being an actor. There was more non-union work than union work, and SAG was very clear about like, don't do this, don't go non-union, but you can go SAG core, which makes you non-union because you can't afford to pay your dues from the acting work, and you can work non-union, but it's frowned upon. So it was that way for a while. Now I think it's very wide open to work union or non-union. It's not as big of a deal or big of a negative situation because a lot of these productions have to save costs. And one way they save costs is not paying the full union rate for actors. And people want to work. Actors, they want to work. They want to build a resume. They want to get a reel. And if you're working with these fantastic directors, even if it's a 5 and under or, a part with 20 lines, you're going to get footage. And that footage helps you get work. And then down the road, you can be like, well, I'm only going to work union, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, it's a very slippery slope. There's always fuzzy lines around it. And so you want to respect your union, but you also want to work. And if there's less union, that means less opportunity to work. And so, it's those kinds of things, as you said. So from an actor's point of view, that's the perspective I have. I don't know what it's like to be a director and a producer wanting to honor the union stuff, but also needing to occasionally do non-union shit just to get your stuff done. So, yeah.
Not to mention, the COVID stuff, obviously.
Right.
Particularly, I think when you're working in that kind of environment, you have to take certain safety precautions.
Right.
And that adds to the budget. So suddenly a $5 million movie is a $6 million movie.
Yeah.
It's tough for me to get too worked up about filmmakers who cut corners or do whatever they have to do to get their visions onto the screen. Right. I realize that sucks sometimes, but hey, I've never had the benefit of the protection of a union myself, right? I've never been part of WGA or any of these, you see them all the time. This website's, been fighting for a year to be recognized as a union and all this shit. I've just never gotten caught up in any of that.
Yeah. There has to be a happy medium. And that's what you have to be aware of here. But do you think this is do you think this is interesting? The amount of backlash that's happened this week towards ANORA. What is driving that? Is it jealous?
It's anyone who has success.
Yeah.
Whether it's me, you, us, our show,
sure.
people take shots at the king.
Right.
Everyone likes to build someone up just to take them down.
Yeah.
And so I'm not surprised to see Sean Baker get some of the shit that he did.
Okay.
And I hope that he brushes it off because you're right. It's just people who are jealous.
Let's talk about your theory about why you think it was a seminal thing for ANORA to win Best Picture, what you wrote about in your newsletter, what it signifies for independent film and all of that.
It's not so much the independent film thing as it was the youth movement thing.
Sorry,
right?
Yes,
go ahead. To me, it just felt like, holy shit, the Academy is definitely a lot younger. And maybe I should have recognized that during the Everything Everywhere year. Which I think also clearly noted that.
Yes.
But this time it was just hard to deny because The Brutalist was that perfect kind of old school contender, I thought. And that if the Academy was 10 years older by median age, I do think that the Brutalist might have prevailed. I just thought Chris Tapley was very astute in pointing that out and how 6,000 members have basically been added over the last 10 years, an average of 600 a year. And it didn't just make the Academy racially diverse or gender balanced or more international. It made them younger.
Yeah. I want to tell you something. I have told you this for years, that that's been going on with the Oscar bodies, and that's the reason why some of these films are getting nominated, and also the reason why we need to increase the number of nominations. I know you don't agree. But the other side of it, though, is how can you explain that when Oppenheimer won last year? It's not like the kids were into Oppenheimer. So how does Oppenheimer, which is correlative to The Brutalist in terms of being a long epic about an old story, World War II connected, how does that win Best Picture last year, but an independent film about a sex worker?
This is the thing. I don't think it's, well, you know, just because the Academy's younger, that means they're always going to go for the little indie movie like ANORA. You know, sometimes it's just undeniable as Oppenheimer. This was undeniable. Oppenheimer. Yeah, I think clearly was last year. It just steamrolled everybody, and there wasn't any suspense, which is what I liked about the Oscars this year. Is that, yeah, maybe ANORA felt like it was obvious, but yeah. I think a lot of people thought Demi Moore was going to win, not me. I think some people suspected that Timmy was going to get up there, not me.
Right.
So it was mostly chalk, but at the same time, there was enough like, ooh, could it happen?
Right. Yes. Especially with Best Picture. I think once Sean won Best Director, I think it was over. But like, you had your feeling about it until
once you won editing. I thought. I mean, you know, I kind of think that the editing thing is like bullshit. It's like a myth,
right?
But once he won, I was like, oh shit, they're giving him a fourth statue for fucking editing. Like, wow, okay.
Well, did you miss any of your predictions? And which one did you miss? Which ones? What are the notable misses?
I mean, again, I thought I didn't think that Demi was going to win, but I thought that Fernanda Torres had a real shot. Right.
Yeah. You were talking about the way the voting is set up that you could have slid in there. Yeah.
Again, I would have put Demi Moore below both of them. I mean, I just thought there was no way Demi Moore was winning, and it was going to either be Fernanda or Mikey.
Okay.
I think I will win for Fernanda and could win for Mikey.
Okay.
I mean, I was surprised by Flo. I did think Wild Robot was going to win an animated.
Right.
But yeah, Kieran, I predicted Zoe, Adrian, all of Sean's wins. Like I had hoped that The Brutalist might pull it out, but by the end, it just, it seemed kind of obvious.
I still think The Brutalist is the best film of the year. Well, no, June is best film of the year, followed by The Brutalist. But look, people like ANORA. Do you think anything to do with the AI stuff affected the voting? Do you think any, like from your own personal point of view, do you think any of these controversies affected the voting enough to change the results? Maybe other than Emilia Perez.
Probably not. Probably not. But if it did, it was probably Best Director, don't you think? It was probably Brody that they penalized for that decision.
Right. I mean, do you think Brady is calling up that editor drunk and just yelling at him on the phone for saying anything about it?
No, because I think he was honest, and I don't think that they really had anything to hide either. I think a lot of movies use AI. It's a tool, and I don't think that it made them cheaters or bending the rules or anything like that. But if anybody was penalized for that, it was probably Brady in that category. Anything
about the Oscars that you didn't like? It seemed like it was a pretty good ceremony.
A lot of musical numbers. It's just like, man, this is a lot of fucking music. Like it was like 20 minutes before we handed out an award.
Oh, right. The opening.
I was fine with Somewhere Over the Rainbow. I didn't need The Wiz. Second thing. I didn't need that. Okay. I understand you all ultimately want to get to Defying Gravity. The Bond stuff, those were all, I like the performances, but on the whole, I didn't need the Bond thing.
Okay.
I didn't need the Quincy Jones thing. I definitely didn't need.
That was a little weird, the Quincy Jones one. I mean, I thought it was great to have Oprah and Whoopi coming back together all these years later. But Latifah singing, I get it. You love Latifah, but like, those are the things that you're like, you want to cut, right? And I thought I'm not going to cut for time. The Conan O'Brien dance should have been cut.
Dude, the show was so long. It was just so fucking long.
Yeah. 3 hours and 50 minutes.
He was good though, Conan, and I like the cinema streams thing a lot.
Oh, that was hilarious. That was genius, for God's sakes. Yeah. So simple. Isn't that called a movie? And they cut him. I thought that was genius.
The building holds it for you.
It starts it for you.
Right. Don't sit back, relax. We'll start it for you.
Anyway, all right. All right. So let's see. There's some other casting tidbits. And by the way, we're already at the hour mark, so we're going to start doing questions in just a second. If you haven't sent in your Streamlab or your Super Chat, you better do it now, or it's not going to be asked on the show. So send it in. You see the Streamlab's address right above Jeff's head. It's also pinned in the description of the video, and it's pinned in the chat and in the description of the video. All right, Kathryn Newton being looked at for Ready or Not 2. Do you like this?
Sure. I mean, I don't, I'm not that invested in the cast of Ready or Not 2.
Okay. Ask is a horror guy.
It makes sense that she just worked with Radio Silence on Abigail.
Right. David Arquette for Scream 7 is apparently coming back for Scream 7. How's that possible, Jeff? Last I saw.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's only one way it's possible, and I did write about it in the newsletter. Sorry to keep mentioning the newsletter.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
Tacky. But yes, last night, it has to be deep fakes.
Oh, it has to be deep fakes. Is that what you think? Oh, interesting.
That's why everyone's coming back. I mean, it's the only way that it makes sense. So,
I like that. Okay.
I think that's what's going on there.
But you also had a comment about all these people coming back. Are you happy with all these people coming back, or are you not happy with these people?
No, I think that Spyglass. I'm sorry. I'm sure that the Spyglass people are lovely. I think that they have ruined this franchise. I think it was the last one was an abomination.
Yeah.
It was unwatchable. I'm glad they have a new director, even though I have more faith in Kevin Williamson, the writer, than as a director. It's the same writer as the others. Even this deepfake idea, I don't love. No, I don't like it. I'm glad that Neve Campbell's back. At least she's front and center where she belongs.
Yeah, agreed.
They need to blow up this whole franchise, John. Let's be honest.
I mean, that's what you've been saying for a while, but this is clearly, this is like Rise of the Skywalker, bringing J.J. Abrams back to this is essentially trying to save the situation. So they're going to play all the greatest hits by bringing all these people back. But if it's not a good script, it could blow up massively in their face. And then you got to start over from scratch.
We're going to see these people on grainy, footage, right? That's what's going to happen. It's going to be and we got a video of the killer, and it's going to be and you're going to see Stu's face.
Right.
I just don't think, I don't know how many, if they're going to get full scenes, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Do you think Mikey Madison comes back in a cameo, considering she's the first screen actor to ever win an Oscar?
No, I don't. That's no, I don't think so.
All right, I'm throwing it out there. All right, the Mobland trailer, the new trailer here with Tom Hardy from Guy Ritchie. Your thoughts, man? It looked badass.
Yeah, I'm into it, dude. I'm into this whole Tom Hardy spring that we've got going on between Mobland and Havoc.
Yeah. Hardy songs.
Yeah, I loved what Guy Ritchie did with The Gentleman. I like the Ray Donovan-esque vibe that this series has. Paramount Plus knows its audience and is catering to that audience quite well.
100%.
This was such a quick turnaround.
Yeah, I know, it's pretty surprising, right?
Very. I mean, but did you see the announcement about the Steve Carell HBO movie this week?
Yeah, what's that all about? Talk about that.
Dude, this was crazy. If you read the story closely, and I double checked it with other trades too, and they made it clear. That movie shoots later this month, I think.
Yeah.
And it's going to be out on HBO in May.
Wow.
They said spring. I mean, I guess you could technically call the beginning of June spring if, summer doesn't actually happen until mid-June. But spring to me is not June; it's May, and that's crazy. I guess it's not nuts when you consider that, TV shows turn around episodes of television pretty quickly all the time, SVU or whatever.
Yeah.
But to have a movie out 2 months after you shot it, that's pretty nuts.
That's some fast post-production. That feels like an AI post-production situation.
It's just gonna be guys talking in a room. It's four billionaires who are catching up while the TV plays out in the background. But
it's like Dinner with Andre with billionaires. That's basically what it is.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. I love the cast. It's Steve Carell, Jason Schwartzman, Rami Youssef, and Corey Michael Smith.
Yeah, it's good stuff. By the way, Jordan Rumey has already put up your comment on Margaret Qualley exiting Victorian Cycle. Thanks for watching the show,
That's
Jordan.
true.
Appreciate that, Jordan. Thanks for watching the show.
That is true.
What do you think about the Kendrick Lamar situation, brother? Kendrick Lamar, along with South Park co-creators Matt Stone and Trey Park, shot a film last year The mysterious project is said to be a, quote, slave comedy set in California. This is now supposedly, it was getting a theatrical release, but it seems like it might be going streaming. What do you think about this? Is that true? Does that sound right? You're streaming July 11th.
I don't buy that story. I don't buy that story.
You don't buy it? Okay. All right.
So I think that a lot of that stuff is coming off of that poster.
Yes.
And that poster is bullshit.
It briefly appeared on Paramount's official website, the poster, and then it was taken down. But it said it looked like it was delayed a week to come out July 11th on Paramount Plus instead.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I buy I buy that it could have moved to streaming.
Okay.
Because I do think that it's probably going to be a pretty dicey, risque movie, and that Paramount may have second thoughts about marketing that.
Yes.
Also, I mean, if it's coming out in July, like, especially, well, never mind.
Okay.
I just don't feel like they would kick this one to streaming.
Okay.
And July 11th on Superman Day, like, it's just why would you move on to that date? It doesn't make sense to me.
It's a great point.
As for the poster itself, though, okay, here's why I think this is all bullshit.
Okay.
The lead is the young black man. Chloe, like, I don't know why Chloe East would be mentioned first, other than she's the only name who's actually been reported.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Kendrick Lamar, I don't know if I've actually, I think maybe I said on this podcast that, he's in the movie, but like, that's not, I don't think he's the lead. I think he's supporting. I do think he's in the movie, but I don't think he'd like be on the poster like that. And then that other actress, Celeste Octavia, is like an extra.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you have the title that makes no sense without the title treatment.
Whitney Springs.
Yeah. Right. Which makes no sense without the N hanging off the sign. Okay. Yeah. And it wasn't presented like that. So I just think that this poster is fake.
Okay. All right. For those who don't know, because some people are asking in the chat, this special apparently depicts the past and present coming to a head when a young black man who is interning as a slave reenactor at a living history museum discovers that his white girlfriend's ancestors once owned his. Holy shit, man. I love that about Trey Parker and Matt Stone, man. Those motherfuckers don't care. They wade right on in there. You deal with it, and I appreciate that, All right, Matthew Modine in this Godzilla ex-con follow-up. That's cool for Matthew, right? Another next step for him as people are rediscovering him as an actor as he enters into the older age of his life.
Are we trying to talk about him joining a Godzilla versus Kong?
I just like it. I like
I know I like Matthew Modine too. I do always like him, but the humans in those movies, that's like you couldn't ask for a more thankless job as an actor.
That's true, but I hope they're paying him well. I love Matthew. All right, one last thing. The Prince doc, we're not going to get into the DI thing because it wasn't that much in that article, but the Prince doc, what do you think about this? The Ezra Edelman, whose last doc was OJ Made in America, which is a masterpiece of a documentary series. His Prince documentary was canceled. His 9-hour Prince documentary was canceled by Netflix, and they greenlit an state-approved doc on Prince. And Edelman's finally speaking about it in a recent interview. He said the decision was, quote, a joke. And he said, do you think I have any interest in putting out a film that's factually inaccurate? He went on to criticize the recent Netflix trend of celebrity docs as, quote, sanitized and slop. He says he was devastated by this, but he also says that he submitted the film for any factual issues from the estate, but they sent back 17 pages of editorial issues, according to him, not factual issues. And he said it's a short-sightedness of a group of people whose interest is their own bottom line. So basically he's saying that he doesn't want people to get involved who are, invested in putting the nice face out there.
Listen, my heart goes out to Ezra Edelman. And he had to know that this would have been a possibility, I think, when he embarked on this project. Yeah. The whole, how dare your only concern be your bottom line? Why isn't your only concern my art? Right? Like, I don't think I can get behind that, dude. Yeah, they're going to look out for their bottom line. Yeah, if they think that, this movie makes Prince look crazy or abusive or whatever they don't want him to look like. Yeah. And it could affect music sales for the next 20 years. Yeah, I don't think, they're going to push back. I think that he's right, though, in the sense that it's disgusting. what is happening, and that we're allowing artists to tell. Obviously, everyone should be allowed to tell their own story, but like, okay, let's tell it warts and all. We're getting shitty documentaries because these people aren't, telling us anything interesting. They're just playing it safe. Like that fucking Led Zeppelin documentary that I saw with my family, and I was back in Boston. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, I agree. It's so boring. That kind of stuff is so boring.
I've been watching hagiography, right? Or hagiography? I forgot. I don't know.
Yeah. All right, one last thing. The Dungeons team, John Francis Daly and Jonathan Goldstein, are going to be writing the Monopoly movie. Does this make you happy? Does this move the needle in any way? A Monopoly movie?
It's a fucking Monopoly movie, right? And they just announced a series too, or something like that. Okay, so you get the guy that's behind Game Night, right? and Dungeons and Dragons, which is the other most popular board game. It's not a board game, but a role-playing game.
Yeah.
They're obvious hires. I think that this is probably a solid paycheck gig for them. I've heard good things about their next movie with Ryan Reynolds. I'd love to clown on Ryan Reynolds, and that would be. I heard that Mayday, which is Ryan Reynolds and Kenneth Branagh, is like Midnight Run.
What? Branagh and Reynolds?
Yeah,
that's an interesting situation.
Yeah, Branagh is the grumpy one. I can see that, and I heard that Goldstein and Daly did a good job with that movie.
Wow,
maybe that was the movie that was in the newsletter that I said I hear about. That is actually it was.
Okay, there you go. All right, let's move on to these questions. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Anything else you want to bring up, or should we get into these questions?
Fucking hit me with the questions,
all right,
bro.
Let's go. Max Sloth says, Big Bold Beautiful Journey with Margot is still set for a May release date. LOL. Any reason why? Please ask around, Sneider. Yeah, I saw this. There's no promotion for this, and it's coming out in May. Your thoughts?
It's not coming out in May.
Oh, okay.
That's why. What do you think, guys? Come on. It's obviously going to be announced. A release date will be announced in the next month at CinemaCon at the latest. And that could be part of Sony's presentation where they show us the first bit of footage from A Big Bold Beautiful Journey. They say this is going to be our big awards contender this year with Margot Robbie and Colin Farrell. And by the way, we're moving it to the fall. Come on.
What are you hearing about what's going to show at CinemaCon?
I have no idea.
Okay.
But I just I've heard very, very, very good things about A Big Bold Beautiful Journey.
Yeah.
So the fact they're this movie's coming out in 2 months. We don't have a trailer. What's going on? It's because it's not coming out in 2 months. Use your fucking heads.
Yeah. Max also says Adrian Brody's speech was a lot of nothing. He still gave the best performance, though. Why must people mock him and past winners like B. Fraser? The hate train. Wait, you just mocked him at the beginning of your comment and then said, why do people mock him at the end of your comment? I think that's why. I thought his speech was not a lot of nothing. I thought his speech was actually really heartfelt. He just delivered it in a very clumsy, awkward, and dumb way. He was just trying to say he's learned his lessons from the past and he wants to be a better person. So I thought it was sweet and people should come together. But yeah. Do you have anything to say on that?
Yeah, I thought his speech. I thought he took up way too much fucking time. He clearly gave the performance of the year. Why do people mock him? Because they have bad taste.
There you go, and they're jealous. Max Law says Neon Team is genius. 2 exclusive trailers before the Monkey Together and Keeper Together trailer is great, and Keeper is all style and no substance. Oz Perkins. Okay.
Haven't seen the Keeper trailer or the movie. Okay. I couldn't say. I do agree. He has a lot of style and not a lot of substance. Looking forward to Together, which rocked Sundance with Dave Franco and Alison Brie.
There we go. All right, James D. Michelle, could we please get some clarification on how the Superman screenings are doing? Seeing a lot of false information. Also, Amazon should adapt information. Well, also Amazon should adapt William Boyd's Solo or Devil May Care for the next Bond film. Yeah, maybe. Jeff, you're the one that's been reporting this. So some people came after you last week saying, well, because James Gunn shit on your Clayface rumor, that's why you're saying that the screenings weren't great. But what's the truth on this?
What's the clarification? Truth? Here's the truth. Let me clarify to people. When there's a screening, multiple people see the movie.
No.
And those people, they all think different things.
Get out of here.
They have different opinions.
No.
So some people think the movie looks great. Some people think the movie looks terrible. You talk to some of these people, and the first thing I heard was like I very transparently said, "Ooh, this movie's getting better. Like I liked it better this cut." then you print that. Nobody, or very few people, pick it up or whatever. Then, one of your best sources reaches out and says, ooh, like, I liked everything that I saw in that newsletter last night, except for that Superman thing about improving, because I've heard it's still terrible.
Right.
And then you print that or say that, didn't have to share that, wasn't planning to share that. But if that's the way James Gunn wants to play certain things, we can go tit for tat. It's not, did I say it because he shat on the Clayface thing? Sure. Fine. I'll fucking admit that. Does that mean I didn't hear it?
Yeah.
Like, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Are you saying me that conversation didn't happen?
Right.
Because it did. So, listen, man, what does it matter? What does it matter what I think of Superman?
People are going.
What my sources think of Superman? How it's shaping up? Who gives a shit? You're going to see it anyways. Same day that you're going to see it, whether it's good or bad. It's not going to change it. You're going to fucking run out to see it anyways because you're watching this podcast.
Right.
And you're going to make up your own fucking mind. So everybody fucking relax.
Yeah.
Why don't you make this a fucking article? Okay. Put this on your fucking websites. Clip this out.
There you go.
Why doesn't everybody fucking calm down and just let me fucking share what I hear from my sources? If you don't like it, I'll stop sharing it and I'll retreat into the darkness and we can all wait for done deals and the trades to dutifully report things when studios ask them to.
There you go.
It's up to you. You choose your future.
Miguel Zion says, hey, y'all, which director can y'all see direct the first Mutants movie? Any criteria? Y'all think it should be someone who has handled ensemble picks?
I think they should find an actual mutant. Can they find a mutant somewhere? Because this really needs to be a personal story.
It's a good question, but I don't know that there's, I think they're going to go with people they find real. And it might be the Russos, or it might be someone the Russos really like to come in and do this. So I think it's going to depend on the Russos and the Feige.
Maybe the third Russo brother, Mikey Russo.
Mikey Russo. Vince Russo. Miguel Zion says, also, do y'all think they're going to add another writer besides Michael Leslie? I don't think y'all have been asked this, but what is your favorite X-Men film? Thanks. Mine's Logan, if that qualifies for an X-Men film. So,
yeah, Logan's a shit.
Yeah. Either that or Days of Future Past if you want to go full X-Men.
God.
I love Days of Future Past.
Yeah, that one's so overrated. It's definitely X2. Obviously.
Oh, wait, that's not overrated? Okay. All right.
Dude, remember, take little Johnny back.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
To X2. You got out of that movie. Yeah. That movie blew your fucking mind.
It did, 100%. Better than the first. Yeah, I know. It doesn't hold up, though. James D. Michelle says, hey, Jeff and John, hope all is well. I'm very interested to know what Robert Pattinson thinks about there being another Batman. What his take on all of it. Well, we don't know. But
if I was Robert Pattinson, I'd be fucking rip shit. I'd be like, you're basically sabotaging my Batman run. And I tell them to fuck themselves. And that's why I think there's a whole battle behind the scenes. Because it's like, why are we doing that to this guy?
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, we should take a moment here. Jeff, Mickey 17 coming out this weekend. I got a chance to see it a couple of days ago. I liked it a lot. I tell you, I really enjoyed it. A very sweet, hopeful film, funny film. It was 2 hours and 20 minutes. I didn't feel it. But I came out with other people who were like, they were bored with it and thought it took too long. So it's going to be interesting to see what the box office of this is going to be. Did you get a chance to see the full film? And what are your thoughts?
I have not had a chance. I wasn't invited to a screening this week. Okay. I do plan to check it out. Maybe even later tonight. We'll see.
Oh, cool.
I have a late dinner planned, but I'm glad you liked it.
I did.
I think the movie's going to bomb.
Maybe.
I've read a lot of mixed reviews. I've read some great reviews. Don't get me wrong, but I've read a lot of negative reviews as well. So I think in general, the response has been mixed. And I don't think I was out of line in my assessment from what I saw last year at CinemaCon.
Yeah, I think it's going to be divisive. And I don't mean divisive in terms of controversial. I mean divisive in terms of the amount of people like it versus the amount of people don't. It's going to be very much like that kind of a film. Because, again, I loved it. I enjoyed it and had fun with it. And I thought Pattinson was great. Watching what he creates there with the two different Mickeys is just fantastic. And Toni Collette is chilling. And then when you see, and Naomi Ackie was good. But coming out with other people, they were just like, "Oh my god, I couldn't wait for this to end." So,
and this is what drives me nuts. It's like, okay, if this movie is a tough sell, it's a tough sell, right?
Yeah, I think it is.
So then invite Jeff to the movie so that on Thursday, the day of the opening, right, when he talks about the movie with John, he's at least talking about the movie and you know, maybe he thinks it's good, as opposed to leaving him with the only thing that he has for the last year, which is the impressions from the trailer, which again, it's a tough sell. I don't think that this movie looks particularly good. So this is a failure, just a basic failure of publicity. And if I was a studio publicist, I would revolutionize the fucking game. Revolutionize it. Because what's happening now is just people playing, like using an old playbook. It's musty.
That's fair. Kane says, what's the word on Ryan Coogler's upcoming Sinners? Is it testing better than the first time around? Speaking of testing, Jeff, you heard anything?
I think that looks kind of mixed.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. I'm nervous about that one, as I think that Warner Brothers is as well.
I think I'm nervous about it too. Cloud says the Batman 2 is not getting made. Gunn doesn't want two Batman at the same time, especially a better critically received version. Only way it gets made is if WB starts selling off DC after Superman flops. Ooh, that's a hell of a statement out there.
I mean, where's the lie?
Yeah,
I don't know that is true, that the Batman is not getting made, but I mean, the idea that something isn't going on is really hilarious.
I have weird feelings about it. I have a feeling like it might not happen, even though everyone's like, well, they say they were going to shoot later this year.
Not. I mean, again, if you want to build a universe, build a universe. Don't make Elseworlds movies. Just say, hey, you know, I'm tough timing for you, Matt Reeves. We're not making another one of these. This is Batman now. We're doing the James Gunn Batman now. That's over. I don't know. I'm sorry. Choose a route.
Yeah. Dennis Hoffman says, can't join live, but appreciate you fellas. Jeff, amazing shave. Rocha, keep it up. Tom Cruise really starring in Deeper? Fun script, creepy right. I don't know. Is that true?
That was that Max Landis script. I don't know. I mean, that's a very highly regarded script. I know Cruise has flirted with it in the past. I mean, it seems like there's so much underwater stuff in Mission Impossible. I don't know why he wants to like go under again, but I don't know. I don't know if that'll ultimately get made. Tom Cruise obviously signs on and attaches himself to a lot of stuff that doesn't ultimately happen.
The 3-hour cut, the rumor is the 3-hour cut was screened and people loved it for the new Mission Impossible film. It probably won't be 3 hours, but people loved it apparently. Nerdy Mastermind says, Jeff said Superman is bad. Campus said his sources told him it's really good. And Grace is saying she hasn't heard Superman is bad. What is going on?
What is going on? I think we already explained that.
Yeah, people have different opinions.
And I have no idea. I can't wait to see Superman myself. It's my number 10 most anticipated movie of the year.
Number 10, wow.
Number 10. It was on my top 25 of 2025.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so just like let me see the movie and I'll let you know.
There you go.
If everyone cares so much about what Jeff hears, why doesn't anybody care what Jeff thinks? Show me the movie and I'll fucking let them know. I'll tell the world it's great.
Or not great.
Or not great.
Yeah, depending on if you like it or not. I'm Too Fly Cam says Alan Richardson said he will play Batman for free. I bet he would. I think if he slimmed down a bit, he could be awesome. 2 Batman at once is the real question. I don't know. Yeah,
I love it. Alan Richardson, you fat fuck. Why don't you slim down? Jesus Christ.
I think
he looks like God.
I think they just mean because he's so huge. But that Batman could work for Brave and the Bold. So I don't think he needs to slim down at all. Eddie Alidia says Superman in question, but did Evans and Gosling really hate each other on Gray Men? Went down some Reddit rabbit hole about it. Oh, I don't know. Chris Evans and Ryan Gosling? That seems like an odd.
Wouldn't shock me.
Really?
Two very different guys.
Yeah.
Let me ask you. It's like, do you think Chris Evans, a guy from Boston like that, is for his feature directorial debut is making Lost River?
Oh yeah,
which was Gosling's. These are very different people. I think
that's true. That's true. By the way, this week I discovered Boston Talk on TikTok. Boston TOK. This, ladies and gentlemen, you need to discover. Save that hashtag. Those are some amazing TikToks. Goopy G says, what's the new show to watch other than The Pit?
Just watch The Pit over and over again.
I just finished Paradise on Hulu this week. Phenomenal. Highly recommend the Paradise. If you haven't watched it yet on Hulu, it's really good.
It's called Celtics City. 9 hours of excellence and greatness. Why don't you sample it?
Please do not tell me that's fucking 9 hours. It's not. Way.
It is 9 hours. And
9 hours?
All 9 hours, and it was fantastic. The Celtics have had such a crazy history. It's nuts.
Oh, wait. It's a history of the Celtics? I thought it was history of the last when they won the championship this year.
See, that's why you got to read the Insider newsletter, baby. Everybody misreported that.
Yeah. Well, then I'm watching it now.
This is Bill Russell. This is Havlicek stole the ball. Kuzi, civil rights, everything. It's
nice.
Great.
Okay, now I'll watch it. Joey Panther is dropping some support. Thank you, Joey.
You look like Greg Alba there. Go back.
I know, right?
Joey.
He's got that Greg Alba look. Goopy G says Soderbergh for Bond. Black Bag is great. Yeah, Black Bag getting great reviews, Jeff.
I like Black Bag. It was good. I don't think it's great. No to Soderbergh for Bond. No.
Okay. Hey, I think he's past the time to do one. Tony McHale, best place to be for entertainment journalism. Heads, you guys fucking rock. That's right. Right here. Draws Walker says movie trailers that I checked this week were The Bondsman, Working Man, Mobland, and Gunslingers involving Tom Hardy, Nick Cage, Heather Graham, and Kevin.
This dude's a straight dude. I fucking watch the trailers for Working Man, Mobland, Gunslingers, and The Bondsman. That is like the straightest lineup of movies you can have.
I mean, look at his shirt. That tells you he's watching the hard ass movies, the hard ass trailers.
Dude.
Yeah. You should get on Paramount Plus, dude. They're doing all kinds of dude shit on Paramount Plus. Victor Garrity says, if I'm Amazon, I'm trying to get Joe Wright. Darkest Hour was super intense without any action scenes, not to mention Hannah and Atonement. Oh, Joe Wright Bond is maybe.
If we keep talking about this, I'm going to throw up all over this microphone.
All right. I like Joe.
The answer is fucking no. Get out of my office. You're fired.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Lemmy War said, would WB risk losing Matt Reeves over James Gunn's controlling tendencies? Matt Reeves is clearly very successful with DC. Actually, that's a really good question, Jeff. Well, if there is issues behind the scenes, as you've seemed to alluded to and other people have as well, do you think this is coming to a head at some point?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think DC and Warner Brothers in general has been very patient with Matt Reeves.
Because of this. Yeah.
I think they're pot committed to Gunn, though. I think if there really was a power battle and both of them, these guys were like, it's him or me.
Yeah.
You really have no choice but to go with Gunn at this point.
You have to.
Yeah. But I think that would be the wrong call.
In for a penny, in for a pound. Elusive Rock says, have you guys heard anything on the return to Silent Hill? Silent Hill is a massive horror game series. If that movie is decent, could do Five Nights at Freddy numbers. It finished filming in 2024. It's been quiet since. Thanks for all you do. Hot Mike.
Yeah, the answer is no. I've not heard a single thing about Return to Silent Hill. I mean, this is the kind of underworld Resident Evil type of franchise that I really don't pay much attention to. It's for you're right. It does have like a loyal fan base. Like this movie probably has a pretty solid floor, but I don't see it putting up Five Nights at Freddy's numbers. I just don't feel like it's that kind of a larger phenomenon, and it's already been done.
Yeah. Okay. Rider in the Dark. What's the awards buzz on Chloe Zhao's Hamnet? I haven't heard anything.
I think it'll be good. I mean, I've heard some good things. I predicted Mescal might get a nomination. He's playing Shakespeare. It's about Shakespeare and his wife like losing a child.
Yeah.
So it's a real upper. It's a real feel good movie. It's him and Jessie Buckley, and Jessie Buckley also has The Bride. She's the title character in The Bride, Maggie Gyllenhaal's movie. So if I had to guess, I think she's probably going to be in contention for The Bride. But Hamnet I think will be a big one.
Interesting. Joe Fayan says Timothee played Edward Scissorhands in a Super Bowl ad. Oh, yeah, that's right.
I saw the chat talking about that.
That's right.
There you go. I forgot.
Cowboys Fan 92 says, hi, guys. Do you think the Oscars would ever make a second Best Picture category? No. Due to many musicals being snubbed in Oscar history? No. They're not the Golden Globes, buddy. That ain't the way it works. No. Mike Joy says, what's wrong with people? I always see people on my For You page complaining about Jeff and his thirst traps. I think they're just jealous. Jeff.
Obviously.
He posted a half-naked one yesterday.
People on on Twitter, so people talk about my Instagram post?
Maybe.
I only have like a couple thousand Instagram followers. It's not like it's like Twitter.
Yeah.
At least you go on my For You page. That's Twitter, right?
For You is on Twitter, yes.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah. But yeah, obviously people don't want like a sexual reporter, I guess. I don't know what to tell you guys. I can't help being sexy, guys. I can't help that everyone calls me Zaddy.
No one calls you Zaddy.
This is why they don't let me near the talent. Like if it was me sitting next to like, some celebrity, I would just distract people. That's why they have Scott Feinberg do it.
Oh, how dare! Whoa, hello, Mr. G movie reviews and now you come from Feinberg. Any news on Jonah Hill's outcome? Any good buzz?
I'm just saying, some people are sexually threatening and some people are not. Any news on outcome? No,
I haven't heard anything either. Yeah. Alan Smithy, hi guys. Is it okay to not like ANORA? I mean, her roommate asked her to get her milk and she didn't get the milk. And then she was like, did you see any milk? That's all I needed to see before I didn't like ANORA. Am I crazy? Thanks.
See any milk in the fridge, you stupid bitch? What do you think? I left it in the fucking cabinet? I think that was a totally appropriate response. It's like, lady, I'm sleeping here. Can you not fucking see what's going on? If you can't see the milk in the fridge, it's not fucking there. It's because I didn't get it.
Yeah, it was a passive-aggressive question because she knew she didn't get the fucking milk. She just wanted to have the conversation about the milk. Just skip to the confrontation and skip the passive-aggressiveness. Cowboys fan, but that's a great post there. Thanks, Smithy. Cowboys fan 92 says, finally, is it just me or is it a double standard by the Oscars to still have Carla Sofia after her super racist tweets? Because I bet if it was a guy, they would have banned him forever.
No, the Academy is not the morality police, and they know that. And unless a crime has been committed, right, and someone's been found guilty of that crime, like then you can expel Harvey Weinstein or whoever. But they're not expelling people for racist tweets. It's not their job to monitor social media, and that's not what the point of the organization is. It's to honor the best in the arts, which she certainly was this year. The movie got 13 nominations. It got them because of her. There is no movie without her, quite frankly. Sure. She had every right to be there.
The interaction with Conan was super weird, though. Faccia Bruta. Does Jeff know info on the Phoenix/Haynes movie, the Todd Haynes movie?
I heard it was going to suck dick.
Are you just saying it?
It's a joke. It's a joke, people. Just like me farting in Ariana Grande's seat at the Oscars when I didn't even know where she was sitting.
Hey-oh.
People were like, oh, how inappropriate.
She was like, what is the smell?
I got to tell you, I crop dusted that whole theater.
That sinister Macaulay didn't let you in the theater. Love the Clue game. I'm always 1996 Mrs. Peacock or I won't play, damn it. Hated the 85 movie. Who would you cast in the new Clue movie? What's your favorite Clue character? I agree. I am a person who does not like the original Clue movie. I don't like it. People have tried to I've watched it 3 times.
Me neither. I'm with you.
Do not like it. Yeah.
I don't get what the big deal is.
That is white people humor to the nth degree. And I don't know why people like that.
This is a hilarious comment. I'm always 1996 Mrs. like that very specific version of Mrs. Peacock.
Yeah.
Hated the 85. Who would you cast? And what is your favorite? I love favorite Clue character. Green, purple. What do you mean? Top hat. Is that a thing?
That's Monopoly, not Clue.
Oh yeah. Who would I cast? All right, Rope. Who would I cast in the new Clue movie? John, give me somebody.
Charlize Theron. You got to sell the film. No, she does good comedy. She's the best part of A Million Ways to Die in the West.
As the butler, as Wadsworth, I'll go with Sam Rockwell.
Oh, Rockwell would be a good choice. I like that idea. Faccia Bruta says, any validity to John Carpenter doing a movie rumor?
No.
This age? No way. Steph 86. What's up, Steph? Jeff, have you heard any additional casting for Primetime with Pattinson? It's been filming for 3 weeks in New Orleans.
Primetime. What's that one again?
I don't know. Let me take a look.
It rings a bell.
Wait, is Black Bag out this weekend or not?
It's next weekend.
Oh, okay. I didn't get a thing for that.
I forget what Primetime is, Johnny. Can you remind me? I'm blank.
Yeah. Let me look up Robert Pattinson if he's really on it, right?
Primetime. Yeah, it does ring a bell. I'm just forgetting. Is there another question in the meantime? You want to go to the next one?
Yeah. Let me do that real quick. Matt Sister McCall, Beth Sneider got confirmed for Batman 2 villain. California.
Beth Sneider is up to her fucking hijinks again.
Snow Guillemette. Would you rather have Gunn Superman or Batman 2? Ooh, good question. Jeff.
I mean, probably the Batman 2.
Yeah.
But I'm a Batman guy.
Yeah, you like the Batman. Yeah, I'd probably do Batman 2 right now myself as well. So I can't lie on that one. I don't see any. Okay, Robert Pattinson, Lance Oppenheim, A24 crime film Primetime. This was back in October of 2024 last year.
Who's directing it? Is there a long
Lance Oppenheim, yeah, who did the Red Bear series.
Oh, okay.
They're developing it though.
This guy says it's been shooting.
So. A24 is set to finance and produce it, which follows a journalist who takes on an underworld of crime and ends up changing television forever.
Yeah, interesting. Okay. No, I didn't realize that was already shooting.
Wow. Okay.
Maybe he doesn't have to be on set for the Odyssey until later.
Oh, that's possible. Draws Walker says, plus Hasbro has shuttered its movie production sections and made changes far as licensing tips for toys, merch, and games at NYC Toy Fair. Oh, okay. I don't know much about that. I can't comment on any of that. Jeff, can you comment on any of that? No?
I already has, bro.
Oh, boy. Boof. No. Johnny Boy just tipped and said, gentlemen, settle a debate. Better dance movie with a soundtrack. Dirty Dancing or Footloose? Oh.
No question, Dirty Dancing.
No question, Footloose. You're insane? What are you talking about? Footloose is a fucking great soundtrack. Dirty Dancing is just a compilation of a bunch of 60s songs, right?
I mean, listen, I'm a Dirty Dancing guy. Nobody puts baby in the corner. Footloose is not my thing.
Like Dirty Dancing soundtrack only. Don't let me bring the Lady Outlaw in here. She'll be on your side. She loves Dirty Dancing much more than Footloose.
Never been a Foot guy.
I've had the time of my life. Hey-oh. See, Be My Baby by the Ronettes. She's Like the Wind. Hungry Eyes by Eric Carmen. These are good songs. But then you've got a bunch of these 50 songs. Love is Strange.
Hungry Eyes.
In the Still of the Night. It doesn't count. Footloose is better. It's all original music. All right. Beth Snyder says Black Bag sequel, Brown Bag confirmed. Oh, Beth. No, don't do that. Jeff Hates Star Wars question says Jeff and John Mangold wrote and directed Copland almost 30 years ago. Jesus Christ. If the movie were to come out today, would the studio make it as a movie or a one-season limited series? Ooh, interesting. Could it be like Tokyo Vice on HBO Max?
You're saying Copland?
Copland, yeah, the Mango one with De Niro and.
I think Copland would be a great series. It's a great title. I think it'd be a very cool show for like a Paramount. Plus, they could even pair it with Mobland.
Who plays Stallone?
Copland followed by Mobland. Who plays Stallone?
Who plays Stallone's character?
I mean, Bernthal or
Tom Hardy? Tom Hardy, maybe.
I mean, yeah, some maybe. I don't know.
Mobland, Copland, and then you could do one more land, and he's set. Tom is set for the rest of his career. Joe says, if the Oscar for Best Casting was introduced this year instead of next year, do you think Sean Baker would have won a 5th Oscar since he also cast Anora? No, I think Conclave would have won. What do you think?
I mean, I thought the casting for Anora was like impeccable. I thought it was great. So he may very well have won another Oscar.
Yeah. Oh, I keep forgetting that they're the smaller guys in the whole Russian crew, which were all well cast. Philly 19057 says, did Marvel spoil everyone with its shared universe concept? Does everything really have to be connected? I wish studios would just focus more on giving us good storytelling.
Yes. I mean, I do. And I understand the universe thing. And it obviously proved to be very financially beneficial for Marvel. But
yeah,
I don't think it necessarily made the movies better by having them all connect. I think it if anything, like limited them and restrained them creatively.
Also, I think they're all trying to do good storytelling. It just doesn't always come out that way. I think they're all trying to do that in these shared universes. Alex Bahunin says, have you guys watched the shows Paradise, American Primeval, or The Pit yet? They are all tremendous. Well, We said The Pit and Paradise. I haven't seen American Primeval on Netflix.
I've only seen the pilot, the first episode, and the end of that episode is like amazing.
Okay.
Right. Dude, just watch like the last 10-15 minutes of episode 1 of American Primeval. It's nuts.
Is it a period piece?
Yeah, big time.
Kirby Crackle says, "Hey Jeff, you teased a few days ago that an Oscar nominee may have joined the DC universe. Do you plan on elaborating on that soon? Thanks."
Did I tease that?
He says you did. Okay.
That an Oscar nominee?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was just that Kieran Culkin was the other name I'd heard for Clayface.
There you go.
I think that's what it was.
Jerry says, "Hey guys, just checking in to see and ask if there's any updates on Blade, any director news, hopefully."
Plemons would be good. A guy like Plemons would be good for Clayface, actually, and or Bill Skarsgård. Go on, sorry.
No, just saying, Jerry said, "Hey guys, just checking in to ask if there's any updates on Blade, any director news, hopefully."
Other than that Stahelski rumor, no. Again, and I told you I went to my source and asked, and they said that they'd heard it was somebody else, but that was a while ago.
Samuel says, "With ANORA winning Best Picture, where would you rank it with the past 5 winners? Nomadland, Coda, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Oppenheimer."
Nomadland, Coda, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Oppenheimer, and that. I'd probably rank it second.
Yeah.
Behind Coda.
I would go Oppenheimer, ANORA, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Nomadland, and Coda. That's how I would rank them. If You Seek Amy, hello. Have you heard anything about the Big Bold Beautiful Journey moving date, Oscar Contender Festival run? I think we answered that one, If You Seek Amy. So anything more you want to say on that one, Jeff?
The only thing I'll say is, like, Colin Farrell, I've heard he's great in that movie and A Ballad of a Small Player, and you can only be nominated once per category. So that'll be interesting to see which movie he gets a nomination for, because I do think his chances are pretty good at getting one. I just don't know which movie it'll be.
Good call. All right, Fred Tastic said, showing support for the hot mic. Which is the better movie, 80 for Brady or Celtic Pride? Also, Logan isn't just a mutant movie, it's a masterpiece. All right, Jeff, 80 for Brady or Celtic Pride?
Easy answer here, 80 for Brady.
Yeah, I think Celtic Pride is a good idea. That's not a good movie. 80 for Brady is at least watchable with those ladies.
It's a sweet film.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, one last super chat, and then we'll get on out of here. Robert Giankita says, just got out of Rule of Jenny Page snooze fest. I don't even know what that is. What is Rule of Jenny Page?
So, and I'll tell you. So I watched this. This is the Rule of Jenny Penn.
Jenny Penn. Okay.
Yeah, the John Lithgow, Jeffrey Rush movie.
Oh, yes.
I was so excited for this, and I watched it the other night with a buddy of mine, and we were so disappointed.
Oh.
I thought this movie just played it so safe. Even like the big kill that's like teased in the trailer has nothing to do with Jenny Penn. It's just kind of like a freak accident that happens in the first like 5 or 10 minutes.
Oh.
There's like suspense, but like
it's not good. Uh-oh. Oh boy, we lost Jeff again. What is going on? Jeff, what happened? Where are you? So I'm meeting call for Jeff. Oh boy, where'd you go, Jeff? Here he goes again. This has been happening more and more lately. Have you guys noticed this? He keeps dump. That's good. What else have we got? Oh, the voice. Jeff can hear me. There we go. Nope. None of this stuff, huh?
Nothing.
Oh, there's the big balls. Okay. Okay. All right. So just messing around with my stuff here. That's all I'm doing. I think he's back. What the hell? What'd you do now?
I don't know what's going on. I told you, I think it's the charger.
Yeah, maybe get a new charger.
The thing is, it says it's full. It's been charging the whole time.
Might be time for a new computer, buddy. I think it was just recommending that for you.
It might be. We might need to do a fundraiser.
All right. Anything else you want to talk about, brother? Shall we wrap it up?
Was that the last question? Did it really go out the last question?
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I have anything else to add. It's just it's gonna be a good newsletter.
Get on his newsletter. Where can they? Oh yeah, tell people where they can follow you, Jeff, and subscribe to your newsletter, please.
The Insnider.com. Make sure you throw a www in there, because sometimes people go to the Insnider.com and like, I don't know what I did on the back end, but like it's like, this is a phishing thing. You just got to put in like the www or whatever, and it'll be fine. But I don't know. I got to figure this shit out.
God forbid. All right. So yeah. As for me, you can follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Make sure you subscribe down below. Hit that bell button. Also, the podcast feed. A lot of you forget the podcast feed is out there. Please subscribe to the podcast feed so we can keep getting those numbers up and what have you. So please head on over there as well. We would appreciate it. At The Rocha Says, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. And look for more Geek Buddy stuff happening tomorrow, and Daredevil stuff still going on this week for sure.
Dude, Daredevil. We didn't talk about Daredevil.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to see it? You don't watch Marvel stuff. Tell me. What you think?
That's not true. I watched Daredevil. I don't watch the Marvel garbage, but I watched Daredevil. It was really good.
You liked it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you not?
I did not like the first episode, but I liked the second episode. And I've seen the whole season, and the season gets better after the halfway point. It gets real good after the halfway point. So
yeah, Marvel does not show me such things anymore. But yeah, dude, I'm a Daredevil dude till I die.
Nice. You like Charlie Cox coming back? You're a fan of D'Onofrio? Do you like the coffees? Am I wrong in saying the coffee shop scene is like reminiscent of Heat? Maybe not Heat level, but certainly reminiscent.
Maybe not Heat level. Yeah, it's not Heat level. It's just it was fine. It was good. It's not.
There's a flip side.
Knievel and Vincent, come on.
Anything you recommend for people as we're wrapping up? Anything you're watching right now currently, or anything to look out for? No.
I can't. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, White Lotus. I don't know what episode it's on, but this shit gets crazy soon.
All right, there you go. All right, thanks everybody. Take care of yourselves. Be well. We love you, and we'll talk to you next time with another brand new episode here of the Hot Mic. Peace.